Boogie, drop that beat.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Talking Out Loud with Miss Talkative. Everything I say is my own opinion, alleged, and strictly entertainment purposes. Remember, I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the video, let me know what you think. Kimmie, indirectly, she admits that Melody did indeed start the whole Love and Marriage Huntsville franchise, regardless of this cast not wanting to give her her flowers. Kimmie admitting that Melody started it and is probably the only this is probably the only time that they are going to admit it, because they do not like Melody at all. But just take a listen.
And the rules, I just didn't like them. That's my main complaint. I felt like we should have gotten better rules, period.
Because you're the OGs?
I mean, yeah. I was like, Mel.
I'm going to stop right there. Tisha feel as though that they should have had better rooms because she's an OG. But the fact of the matter is, Tisha, Kimmie, Melody, they weren't in a good place. And even if they were, Tisha was bringing a guest. So who's supposed to share rooms with Tisha's guest? I know we've been over this so many times, but you would have thought that by now somebody would have let Tisha and Kimmie know why they ended up with the room, and to the point where they could have been grown women and realized that it wasn't just about the room that made the vacation. They were pushed in a broom closet, and they weren't made to sleep in the cellar or the basement or something like that. And like Melody said, they did a lot of great stuff. But Tisha both of them focusing on a room they're holding on to a room when there was so many other great concepts that they could have grasped from the trip. It makes no sense to me. They need to grow up.
You showed me how you felt about us. Like, you gave us the worst room.
It's more than quote.
Well, that can go both ways. And Tisha only blurting out that the revenge P is real when she is called nasty and outed about being in the backseat of a Buick, messing around with Martell's friend. And so she is, like she always does, she hold information until somebody makes her mad, and then she wants to spray them with different things. So while she's saying, oh, you gave me a room based on how you feel about me. Well, I feel as though Tisha or this cast holding on to the revenge P shows how they felt about Melody. So can we be fair about that?
We were filming with Melody in her backyard for nothing on this show. For nothing. Because Melody wanted to pursue doing a TV show. And I think it was disrespectful.
Do you think the room select?
Kimmie says that she feels as though it was disrespectful for them to end up with the rooms that they had, based on the fact that they were filming in Melody's, they started out filming Love and Marriage Huntsville, I guess the pilot, before they even started receiving paychecks, because Melody had a vision for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And that there tells me how selfish these ladies are. Because even though they feel as though that they are entitled to better rooms, or even though that they're trying to point out that they have been there from the beginning, that's all cute and all. But at the same time, Melody has brought y'all on a platform, on a TV show. She created a vision, and it's up to Tisha and Kimmie to find their own lane, find their own spot. It's like they're just hanging on to Melody, where they felt as though that they should have been, well, regardless of what they do, how they act, that they should have had they should have had special treatment just because they've been there from the beginning. But the thing is that just the fact that they've been there from the beginning, you would have thought that they would have been appreciative. And not saying that they had to kiss Melody behind, but for Melody to bring them into her world and share the platform with them, offer them a piece of offer them a chance to be on TV. They should not need any more. They shouldn't need any more favors. They should not be questioning how she feel about them. Because if she really felt the way about them, she would have omitted them from the girls' trip, just like she did Destiny. So if she really didn't rock with them, or really didn't want to be bothered with them, she didn't have to invite them on a girls' trip. Trust and believe, Melody, her vacations and stuff like that we have witnessed just from her being by herself, I'm quite sure that it would have been an amazing trip without Tisha and Kimmie. Tisha and Kimmie really weren't needed on the trip to make the trip a success. But it was a girls' trip. I'm quite sure it was a cast trip. But the fact is that they don't realize that it was them that were treating Melody like mess. So if they feel as though that they got a bum room based on how Melody felt about them, I feel like that's their guilty conscience of how they've been treating Melody over the years. Because you would have thought that because they've known Melody so long, that they would have created this magical sister unbreakable bond, as much as Melody has done for them, to the point where they would have been in Melody's inner circle and been able to get the better rooms. But instead, they downgraded themselves in Melody's life. And they don't realize that they've done that. So I think that the room situation, it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. Stormy and Trisha are friends. Stormy brought Trisha to the show. They wind up shacking up in sharing rooms. Regardless, I know Stormy said she didn't stay there, but that's how the rooms were presented. Stormy, Trisha, they shacked up. Miss Nail had her own, had the middle room. Sunny had her own room away from the ladies because the ladies didn't receive her at all. Destiny and Kimmie and Tisha, it was a room where 3 people can bunk together. They, Kimmie hollering, "Oh, Destiny is our girl." Well, then you shack up with your girl.
Action. was indicative in terms of how Melody feels about you?
To be fair, I think I got caught in a little bit of the crossfire. In general, the answer is yes. But in regards to knowing that Destiny was coming and Tisha and whatever, yeah, I do. I think I got kind of caught in the crossfire of that.
But Kimmie put her own self in the crossfire. Kimmie put her own self in the crossfire of Destiny and Tisha, and so while she's sitting here trying to play innocent, she was up here taking up for Destiny this whole season and running information back and stirring the pot against Melody. So I feel like the rooms that they received, they should have realized that those rooms worked out for the betterment for everybody on the trip. Melody put them all of them downstairs because all of them, Stormy, Tisha, Kimmie, Nail, all of these ladies had a vendetta against her. So the only thing I wish that could have happened was that there was an extra room upstairs on the upper level where Sunny didn't have to be downstairs with the other ladies, since they did not receive Sunny well. But I'm just glad to know that Sunny did have her own room and she didn't have to bunk with any of them. But I feel like the room assignment was the room assignment. It was fitting. It was fitting to the way that the ladies were on the show. But Tisha and Kimmie, I feel like they downgraded themselves in Melody's life, but they're missing the point. They should have. I feel like they're really missing the point. But Kimmie stating that they've been there from the beginning and they don't even appreciate it. They could have walked away. Nobody forced them to film in Melody's backyard for free, but they didn't walk away either. So whatever she was, whichever direction Melody was headed, they were all on board. These are grown women. So that's exactly what they get. And sometimes you have to go through that. They sacrifice to get on the show, but that doesn't mean that the work ends once the show begins. So I feel as though Melody put in the work and Melody got the top spot, and it was Melody's show. But thank you, Kimmie, for pointing out that it was Melody that created the Love and Marriage Huntsville franchise. And I say franchise because without Melody creating Love and Marriage Huntsville, there would be nothing to follow. There would be no Love and Marriage DC. There would be no Love and Marriage Detroit or any other shows that Carlos has put on for OWN. So, yes, thank you for clearing that up for everybody. That's just my opinion. I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. Let me know what you think.